Hi, good evening everybody. I'm so sorry I can't be with you this evening. Unfortunately, Ali, my child who had leukemia, is unwell this evening and it meant that I was unable to travel. But I'm delighted you all are there this evening, and in particular I just wanted to say thank you for attending and supporting this event, and thank you in particular to Angela for the work that you've already done to help cure leukemia and for this new challenge that you're taking on. Thank you so much. Hearing your child has cancer is terrifying and torturous. Those words that are said in a moment set your life on a different course. Many people would say to me that they can't imagine what it would be like, but actually you can. If you allow yourself for 1 second to imagine being told that your child or a loved one has a life-threatening disease, you'll feel the terror and the panic. And then your mind will banish that thought, relieved that it isn't true, that it's not real. The reality is, when it is your child, that feeling is real and that you live with it every day. Ali was diagnosed when he was 8 years old in 2022. He had pediatric acute myeloid leukemia, a life-threatening and rare and very aggressive blood cancer that is particularly unusual in children. During his treatment we were offered lots of support from lots of wonderful charities, but I always had a voice screaming in my head, please cure him, please save him. I didn't want money being spent on trying to improve our quality of life during his brutal treatments. I wanted it all to be spent on ways to save my child and every other child that suffers a terrible disease. When your child is critically ill, you have no control. Whether they live or die is in the hands of others. I comforted myself during that time with the strength of the NHS. He would get the best care, he would get the best treatments. If there was a way to save him, they would find it. What I didn't realise was that wasn't necessarily true. Our NHS is struggling. Whilst the amazing people looking after Ali were focused on keeping him alive during these horrendous and dangerous necessary treatments, they didn't have the time or the resources to work across locations and access groundbreaking trials that might save him or might reduce the lifelong consequences of the treatment. I'm a natural control freak, and I spent my time researching and educating myself on the best experts in Ali's treatment. And the one name kept coming up, Professor Brenda Gibson, still working in her 70s. She was one of the UK's best experts. When we were told that Ali's chemo hadn't worked and he needed a stem cell transplant, I knew that I wanted her to lead his care. Despite this meaning, we moved 400 miles to access her transplant centre. I believed it would be worth it, and it was. It was 3 times during Ali's treatment that Professor Gibson accessed off-label medication that saved his life. Her network ultimately led us to a drug that managed his symptoms whilst his new immune system built up post-transplant and was able to clear the residual disease. Whilst hearing your child has cancer is the most terrifying thing, understanding that there may be treatments out there that could save them that you don't have access to comes a close second. The amazing NHS does not have the bandwidth to run trials alongside daily clinical care, and the trials are necessary to cure more children and find more tolerable treatments. In rare cancers, all children must access these trials, or medical research will not move on at the pace that we need it to. Remember, today there are parents sitting there with the voice that I heard in my head, screaming, save him, save my child. Ali was one of 4 children diagnosed at the same time in Oxford. Only 2 of them are alive today. And I am so grateful that Ali is one of them. But Holly and Ali, Holly's the other survivor, will live with lifelong consequences from their treatments. For them, their cancer journey will never end. So for that reason, I thank you for supporting Cure Leukaemia, and in particular helping Angela raise money for the Atticus Network that will allow more children to access life-saving trials. You're doing a wonderful thing. Together we will beat blood cancer. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful evening.